get some welcome to Racin and stuff, the show where we talk about racing and other sports. As always, I am Doug here with my good friend Chris. How you doing, Chris?
Good. I'm surviving the swine flu, so I'm okay. I'm good to go.
I killed all the pigs in my recent area just to be safe. I'm the pig. I'm the mass murdering pig hunter.
Yeah. Now they've got. I wanted to tell you this. I purposely saved it for the air. Now they've got Chuck Norris swine flu jokes out there.
Swine flu does not take down Chuck Norris. Give me a break.
But no, I just thought that was funny.
No way. Oh, well, that was not at all racing or
we do that every
sports.
week, though, somehow. We end up doing that every week.
We go off on a tangent that is not at all connected to the actual show topic. So why don't we talk about something that's actually connected to the show topic? We are in the wonderful month of May. I love the month of May because it is all-night races. We got some of the biggest races, and we get the build-up to Indy 500. And we had our first race of May in NASCAR on Saturday night at Richmond, which is one of my favorite racetracks. We happened to miss it when it was live, so we watched it actually after we were free that night. So for anybody listening to this, we basically watched it from like 11 o'clock to 1 a.m.
Yeah, we had an event we went to that night, so we watched it afterward.
We were trying to pay attention, and I was too busy reading a book sometimes. So we'll try to bring you the best possible coverage we can from two really tired, zonked out guys reading books, watching a race.
Yeah, though I watched.
You were paying more attention than I was. I'll give you credit for that.
Yeah.
Though I was chiming in, I was saying things. I was talking about how Denny Hamlin's car fell off at the end. But yeah, Kyle Busch won. That's his third win of the year, and he's looking like he did last year, actually.
The only thing I think about that is but I don't know.
Something's missing. I agree that something's missing.
Maybe he's a little inconsistent, maybe a little bit more inconsistent. Because you would think that he would be higher in points.
Yeah. Well, and he's solidly in the top 10. He's in 5th. After last week, what's killing him is that if he's gotten a top 10, it's been a top 5 as well. But he has had one DNF. I think he's.
What was that, Daytona?
It
had to have been Daytona.
Yeah, it had to have been Daytona, and see, even that wasn't his making. The thing that I think, if I'm a Kyle Busch fan, what makes me feel good is know that he still has cars that can win races. After a guy usually has a big, like 8-win season like he did last year, they come out like Carl Edwards this year just has not had any cars that can win races yet. And all that, and he's still winning. He still looks like he's in 08 form as far as having good cars and all that. So that's what I would think is the positive.
And what also, and I'll say this as a not so big fan of Kyle Busch, what impressed me about the race was he didn't dominate. He wasn't the best car the entire race, but he was the best car when it counted. And he I'll actually say it impressed me because honestly, for a lot of the race, he was 3rd to 6th or like ish, and he ended up coming back and winning, and that was impressive. I'll give him credit for that.
And I think we were talking about this a little bit, which was that there were the three best cars in the race were the 18, the 11, and the 2, which is Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin, and Kurt Busch, the Busch brothers. Though Kurt Busch never got to the front the way I thought he was going to. Early on, he looked like
very early on. He was charging up there, and
I thought he was going to get to the lead and walk away from everybody. And he got to lead like once, and that was under green flag pit stops or something like that. Or there was one section he led. Other than that, it was Hamlin all night until the very end. And Hamlin had that really bad pit stop with like 100 or so laps to go that cost him loads of spots, and he just never rebounded from it. And then when it seemed like it was time for him to finally make the charge at the end, he just fell to like 14th. I got to feel bad for the guy. Guy has a flat tire. Guy can't seem to get. He just cannot win there. It's like his Daytona if he was Earnhardt.
Yeah, or my
if he
Wrigley Field. Or my Wrigley Field.
If he was Earnhardt. That's such a bad thing to say because Hamlin's nowhere close to Earnhardt.
No, it's almost like what do I have to do to win? What more do I have to do to get to seal the deal and get a win here? Kind of like being Wrigley Field, like I said, but we won't go there.
We've already gone there apparently.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's just the story of the winner too. I think one of the coolest undercurrents of the race was seeing Jeff Burton finish 3rd and Tony Stewart finish 2nd. Those two made a great charge at the end of the race to get up there.
Yeah, they did. They pretty much went up there. They pretty much kind of like sailed up there through themselves because Tony Stewart was not up there for a lot of the race either.
And you didn't stay to see the post race interview. Did you hear what he said after the race?
No, I didn't.
He basically said we lucked into the second place finish. We did not have a car and all that. It was because we took tires at the end, and that's the only reason we finished there. But it wasn't in the, we don't deserve this kind of way. It was more like I am so proud of these guys to pull this out of their butts kind of thing.
Oh wow, no, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's exactly what he said. So when you say that he wasn't running up there, that's true. He wasn't, and somehow he finished second.
Yeah, that team consistently continues to impress me. Are you going to admit yet that you think he'll make the chase?
I'm going to go so far as to say that if they can continue to run like this, they will be a championship contender. Now, here's the thing. There's a caveat to this. Tony Stewart's run so far this year reminds me so much of Junior's early part of Junior season last year. Early on last year, Junior was top 5 every week, looking like he was on the cusp of getting that win. And then once we hit June, fell apart. I mean, they won a race finally in June at Michigan, and then after that, they didn't have another top 10 for 2 more months. I mean, and that's what concerns me is this going to be forever, or is this going to be for now? I hope for Stewart's sake they can make it work longer, but that's what I'm saying. If they continue to run this well their whole season, they will be a championship contender. If they don't, they won't.
I think that team just consistently, like I said, impresses me. The fact that he's had good cars a lot of the season, and he's run top 5 and in entire race periods and finish in the top 5. And then this week, as you say that, he doesn't run top 5, barely runs top 10, but they make a strategy call. And you know what? They have a good enough car at the end to at least pull out a second. That's impressive to me. And I 100% agree with you as far as, because I remember Junior last year, because I was thinking, Junior, oh yeah, he joined Hendrick. He's going to be a championship contender. He's going to be great. And no.
Well, and he was through May.
Yeah.
If only the season went from February to May, he would have been in top 5.
Back to that. If the chase started now.
If the chase started today, which is kind of funny because that's what we're going to talk about too next is the top 12.
We're going to do it one time.
Well, yeah. Actually, there is good reason for this, and there's precedent to this in the sense that at this point in the season, while it seems like anything can happen, anybody can fall out, if you're not in the top 12 right now, chances are you will not be in the top 12 once we start the chase.
It's like 87 or 88% of the top 12 after Richmond are there after Richmond in the fall.
Yeah.
Doesn't that, I want to ask you, doesn't that surprise, I mean, not surprise isn't the right word, but isn't that interesting? Doesn't that at least intrigue you a little bit? Because you would think, how many races are they in? They're only, 10 in? 9 in?
10 races.
Doesn't that intrigue you a little bit that in 13 races not that much has changed in the history of the chase?
Well, I think, at this point in the season is where even a year before they had the chase, where this is the point in the season where the championship battle will start to take shape. Who was actually going to be leading the points through most of the summer and all that? Who was going to be chasing them? Who was going to be only able to claw their way up to 6th and all that? It's not that surprising because at this point everybody's kind of sorted out and shaken out. So where
and you have a good idea. It's almost like which we'll talk about later in other sports after in the equivalent of other sports, 5 or 6 weeks or in the equivalent of other sports, it's kind of like you start to see, okay, the surprising start or whatever has kind of faded off, or the slow start has kind of faded off, and you really get to see who's gonna, like you said, it's gonna shake out to kind of like who is gonna be there. And
right. Well, and like after 5 races, a guy gets a top 5 at one track and a top 10 at another track can be 8th in points. Or be 12th or be in that area where
that
it's
won't happen after
10. He can get it. But after 10, that guy still got 1 top 5 and 2 top 10s. I mean, who is it I'm thinking of here? Marcus Ambrose has had some good runs this season, but he still only got 1 top 5 and he still only have 2 top 10s. There are times he's looked really strong, but he doesn't always have the finishes. And actually, he's still behind Junior in points.
Yeah. Do you want to do the chase? We should just do it now because we're on it.
I'll just go 12th to first.
I was gonna say, let's start. And so what? So we're just gonna we'll just go.
We'll just talk about it and see. Okay, 12th is Matt Kenseth. He's got about 31 points on 13th.
Okay, here's my thoughts on this.
Okay.
We were talking pre-show about, or I think we were talking about it pre-show about how only like 3 or 4 times it's ever been done where somebody not in the top 10 or top 12 after Richmond made it, and Matt Kenseth was 2 of them.
Yeah.
I could see him this year falling out.
Which would be funny. Well, it wouldn't be